Zach's Screen of the Week, an overview of a timely stock screening strategy aimed at helping you produce more profitable investing results. This time around, we're going to see how we can screen for stock picks from economic reports. That's interesting.
Is that what we're doing?
Kevin Matris, our top stock screener, going to explain that to us this week. It's a new one screen that you came up with here, huh? Seems pretty interesting to me. So what you're saying, if I understand this correctly, is that sometimes these economic reports, even though they can be boring, they can have some interesting information if you dig a little deeper.
Yeah, they can. You know, this is kind of a departure from some of the other screening articles we do, but you know, oftentimes, you know, when I read these different economic reports, if I dig a little bit deeper, there's always some, you know, fantastic nugget of information that to me is very actionable. And when you look at it, every single day, there is either a government report coming out or some other entity that is releasing some kind of economic statistic.
Yep.
And if you dig deep enough, you can see what's happening behind the scenes. So what's interesting is that a lot of the news media, they will cover the headline number, but they really don't dig deep enough to really give you all of the details behind it. It's in these details that you can really find some good stock picks, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, the internals, as we call them.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of examples just so people understand what you're talking about.
Well, for example, the Employment Situation Report. In that report, that comes out once a month, and they will normally detail which sectors saw the best job growth or labor force expansion, and which sectors and industries saw a contraction. And I can remember earlier this year, I had gotten into several retail stocks, restaurant stocks actually, after I had read that report where they cited that they call it food services and drinking places. That's how the government references restaurants.
Okay.
Food services and drinking places had experienced the largest amount of job growth for that month. Now, we were still running with about an 8.5% unemployment. Things were still early in the recovery. And it was like, okay, if this is where all of the job growth is, obviously they are growing, there's a lot of growth there, you're going to want to take a look at those stocks. And it turned out to be fantastic because a lot of those stocks exploded. But if you had only read the headline where they were talking about 8.5% unemployment, you would have thought that, oh my goodness, the world is still going to slowly come to an end, and you would not have been able to have gotten in on some of those growth opportunities.
It's a good example.
Yeah, another report that I like to look at is the State Street Investors Confidence Index. And what this report does, it's unique in a sense that it will track what institutional investors are doing. They won't tell you exactly what stocks they're buying, but they will tell you if they're buying stocks or if they're selling stocks. And since it's the professional investors and the institutional investors that really have the greatest impact on the market, you really want to pay attention to what they're doing. Moreover, when you think about a professional investor, they're always either risk on or risk off. So if they are adding risk, that means they're buying equities. If they are reducing their risk because they're uncomfortable with the economic forecast, that means they're going to be selling stocks. So if you see that these professional traders are adding risk to their portfolio, buying stocks in their portfolio, knowing that these institutional investors can take quite a long time to build a position, once you spot this trend, you can hop on for the ride. So it's very important. And I remember looking at this, I think it was like in mid-2009. This was, you know, right after the market had made that big low, right before the market started to rally up. But every time the market rallied, people were wondering, is this some sucker's rally that's going to get me in only to see the market flush? Nobody felt comfortable at that time. But after seeing those numbers trending up for a couple of months, that was a clear sign to me that this move to the upside was indeed for real. It gave me the confidence to start building more long positions, and that's another way that I used one of these reports. Most recently, just last week, I was looking at the international trade data. And the international trade data, they go over, your trade deficit, but they show you what exports are having the greatest amount of traction, which ones had the greatest amount of fall off. And they had said that the industrial product stocks or industrial product sector, that was the area that was leading the export for that month. And we had seen a couple of months where industrial products were really some of the best exported goods. So that to me was a clear sign that, hey, the economy is doing better in other parts of the world. It was a great departure from all of the doom and gloom that we kept getting out of Europe. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, economies out there in the world that are growing at much, much greater rates than just the 3% growth rate that we're seeing around the world. So that was a clear sign to me that industrial products was a great place to look for some good stocks. And the point of the story is that every single day, there is anywhere from one to a handful of reports that come out. And if you just zero in, you don't even have to read the whole thing, because I know some of these things are boring as ever. If you just read maybe a couple of paragraphs down, you can find some fantastic stock picking opportunities.
So how does all of what we just heard portend to screening?
Well, the thing is yes, I mean, you still have to read some of these reports and pay, a modicum of attention to these things. But once you know, okay, this is a sector of interest or that's an area of interest, once you know what you're looking for, go to any screener, plug in your sector or industry of interest, then just add in some of your favorite items. I would say you want to take a look at companies with a Zacks rank of a 1 or a 2, which is a strong buy or a buy. Take a look at companies that have market-beating growth rates. You want to be able to find some of the top performers in your industry. Mm-hmm. Take a look at companies that have valuations below the median for their industry. And also look at upward earnings estimate revisions, which paints a good picture moving forward.
Okay. Got some interesting stocks that came through the screen that you ran on industrial products.
Yeah, that was the thing that I did last week. A lot of cool stocks came through. By the way, if you didn't want to take any specific risk on a stock, you can also look at an ETF, the Industrial Products ETF, which is XLI. Nonetheless, here's 5 stocks that came through that screen. Have Colfax, CNH Global, Grainger, iRobot, and Parker Hannifin. And once again, the takeaway is that if you're looking for clever ways to find stocks, there's gems all around us. And if you just start digging a little bit deeper, you can really uncover some fantastic things. Once you've done so, just jump on any kind of screener. You can drill down a little bit further, and you can find some fantastic winners.
Own any of these?
No.
All right. The Screen of the Week appears each week in text format on our homepage, Zacks.com. At least you can link to it off our homepage. Just scroll down the page until you get to see Kevin's picture, and the title next to it is generally the most recent Screen of the Week in text format, if you're not there already at Zacks.com watching this video. And if you want to find out more about the Research Wizard, now that's the tool that Kevin uses to achieve all of these screens. Zacks.com/researchwizard is where you should type in your browser on the World Wide Web. I think that made sense. With Kevin Matras and the Screen of the Week, I'm Terry Ruffalo.